Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for day 2 of the Paris Olympic Sevens. Day 1 was full of entertainment, full of close games, and now we are at the building stage, heading towards the quarterfinals. We have got 6 teams already confirmed. There are 2 spots up for grabs though, and these 2 sides here, Kenya and Samoa, both capable of getting one of those spots, but only one of them can get the chance, and it is the winner of this matchup. But looking through at the starting lineups for these 2 sides, first of all for the Samoans, it will be Valvasa Afasua, Motu Opitai, Taunuuna Ulivaia, Neueli Litufia, Fa'afoi Falaniko, then also Paul Scanlon and Va'a Pilomaliko, the last man in the starting side. For the Kenyans, it is going to be John Okeyo, Vincent Onyala, Kevin Waikesa, Anthony Mboya, who has been phenomenal throughout this competition. Whether they are going forward or backwards, Kenya, that man is heavily involved. Samuel Asati, also they have gone with a new man there as Maitsa as the number 10, and then Patrick Odonga Okongo, who I was really fond of throughout the last competition that we saw the Kenyans in. That was actually the qualification for the men's rugby 7 circuit, and he was a phenomenal player there. But it looks like a beautiful day at the Stade de France, 27 degrees Celsius. It's going to be a hot one, and it's going to be one of those games that certainly bring the atmosphere, pack a punch, and it's got to be all-out action. Both of these sides, theoretically, to have a really good shot of making it to the quarterfinals, need to win this game by maybe around 15 points, somewhere around that margin, I would say would help them out. We have got the high all and Hamish, says Robert, and also Samoa says Daniel Cox. Kenya, 16-12 is the prediction from Daniel. And we have got the Enjoy Day 2, says Jan Lu, and got my 1K yesterday. I did send you a message, but you never replied, Jan Lu. That was on the Discord, but at this stage it looks like there are a decent number of Kenyan supporters in attendance, alongside the Samoans, of course. We'll want to see their side do very well. Now, currently the way that the table sits, ladies and gentlemen, we do need to keep a relatively close eye on how the pools are, but currently for Pool B, Samoa have a points differential of minus 23. Kenya, they have a points differential of minus 33. And currently, just to put that into perspective, the best points differential as we currently sit is with South Africa, who are on minus 17. So it's going to be extremely close. South Africa, for me, are in the box seat in terms of being able to make their way through to the quarters. Samoa, I would say, out of these 2 have the best shot, but then saying that, points differential can change in an instant if we do see a great performance coming from this Kenyan side. And then alongside that, we're also in that situation of USA and France, because they drew. That may be what pushes those 2 sides through to the next stage in the competition. And Samoa to win, says Daniel Cox. And of course, we have got plenty of action taking place for these matches, ladies and gentlemen. 5 of the 6 we are covering on the channel. The only one we aren't is Uruguay versus USA, and that is just because we want to have a little spell in between the matchups. Looks like, once again, the day is going to start with a legend. Yesterday it was Dan Carter. We have got there Yo, says Pads Ablaze. And there, I hope you are doing extremely well, Paddy. Currently midnight. I know you were trying to fix your sleep schedule, so this one, once again, for day 2 probably isn't helping. It's going to be an entertaining one. The Samoans, they know if they play to their potential, they have a chance of scoring 30 points here. But Kenya are such a valiant challenger, and no matter who plays them, they find it extremely difficult to be able to break down this Kenyan defence. Kenya's place will be key, or pace will be key, says Kwandile. Exactly right. And Kenya's work in the breakdown as well, I think, will give them a big advantage in this contest. If they are able to get over that ball, cause Samoa a few disruptions, that might be exactly what the Kenyans need. But one thing is for sure, the crowd will love it whether Kenya win or lose. They love watching this side, and it is great to see that they are back on the 7th circuit for 2024-25 circuit. Whereas Samoa, they actually aren't, believe it or not. They are going to be on the Challenger circuit where Kenya were last year. My sleep schedule would be so screwed up. You think I can sleep during the day? Says Blue here. Sadly, I have not had that luxury yet. Hopefully, I'll be able to catch up on sleep probably on Saturday, but I'm going to be up from now, pouring concrete tomorrow, and then hopefully getting home from work at about 5. So I think I'm going to be absolutely exhausted tomorrow night, which is good that we've got a day off in terms of the Rugby Sevens. The next games are taking place on Sunday morning New Zealand time, I should mention. And how long till the start? Says Petty Petty, they are just getting the referees out on the field, so I would say probably about 1 minute till they do kick this one off. We have got there Kenya Big Engines, good luck, says HD23, and I do appreciate you becoming a member on the channel as well, HD23, it is greatly appreciated, of course. It was good to have you here all throughout yesterday on the Olympic Sevens matches, but Taunu Naulivaya, he'll be fired up for this one. Want to make sure that he puts the ball down with both hands, unlike the last contest up against Los Pumas. And really Argentina, they are one of the main reasons that both of these sides could miss out on the next stage. Unfortunately, because both of them lost to Argentina by around the same margin, it means that their points differential has taken a bit of a hit. But there is still a chance. Like I mentioned, Samoa minus 23, Kenya minus 33. Whoever wins this game needs to win it big, and it is just about to get underway. Kenya kicking off, and we have started day 2 now of these Sevens, and straight away Kenya looking to retain, although Motu Opitai has ended up with possession for the Samoans. Ruben Keane, the referee, having a duck underneath that pass as Samoa shifted to the right. Good attack and run forward from Taunuu. Naulivaya got another offload. Kenya are quick, but are they quick enough to stop Paul Scanlon, who's put it in the big fend looking for the corner? He's trying to find that next passing option. Samoa having to lose about 30 metres for the sake of keeping possession. Now passing out wide. They've come out on day 2 with a vengeance. Here comes Va'a Apilo Maleko. Tackled there, but he has knocked the ball on, the last thing that he would have been wanting. But Kenya only a couple metres out from their line. Tackle is going to be completed. Kenya will have to run this one a full length of the field. It's going to be charged down, and they'll go back. Oh, in fact, it's going to be the 5-metre scrum. It was taken back by Kenya. Now, they didn't have a huge advantage. In fact, it's come off the knee of Pilo Maleko, which is why it was not a knock-on. So now Samoa have got themselves a 5-metre scrum. Hamish is my dad, if anyone doesn't know, says Bads Blaze. That is not correct. They start a new job on Tuesday, Hamish, says Daniel Cox. Is it something still to do with DJing and whatnot, or is it just a completely different thing for you, Daniel? Currently a minute into this contest, Letufia about to feed the ball in for the Samoans. They are 5 metres out from Kenya's try line. And they'll be looking to put the points on the board early on day 2. Oh, time is off. Looks like there's a bit of a miscommunication in the front rows when it comes to these scrums. Now, there's a lot of physicality across the front 3 of both of these sides. They love pushing the opposition backwards. It's actually how Samoa scored their second try up against the Argentines, was with a pushover. It's going to be an advantage in favour of the Samoans. Letufia takes the quick dab. They're only a few metres out from the line. Scanlon looking for that gap. Kenya's defence is strong and they won't get through Samoa. The mistake out wide. Apilo Maleko unable to bring it in. And Kenya once again defend their line with precision. And that should have been, theoretically now, 2 tries that Samoa should have been able to score, yet they haven't been able to bust through that Kenyan defence as of yet. If they want a shot in the quarterfinals, they need to win this game by a very large margin, about 20. Is that going to happen, though, with the way that this Kenyan defence is able to stop them each and every time? Nicely claimed by Onyala here for the Kenyans. They are only 10 metres out from their try line, though. Samoa looking to trap the Kenyans inside of their own 22, and completely different. But I'm still DJing, and all the best to Kenya. They need to stay, says Untamed Kenya. And yeah, I feel like the quarterfinals, of course, would always be more entertaining when you have a Kenyan side in there. Counter-ruck coming from the Samoans. That ball is a little bit ugly, but it has bounced up on the side of the Samoans. Now Motu Opitai goes through, and that will be the first try of the match. So it's actually the counter-attack that leads to Samoa's try. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but if it's only off the counter-attack that Samoa are going to be able to score up against Kenya, there's not going to be many try-scoring opportunities, but maybe that one try now busts open that defence for Manu Samoa. But Motu Opitai starting this day like he did day 1 and scored the first try of the day. I wonder whether or not that's some sort of record for the Olympics. That kick is missed from only about 10 metres out. That is summarised Samoa's competition right there. And hey, bro, You'll be calling Fiji versus France tonight. We certainly are. It's going to be an epic game when those two sides go head-to-head. The defending gold medalist versus the host nation, France. It's going to be epic. I'll be working in a gym, says Daniel Cox. It's going to be kicked off by Samoa. Once again, goes out on the full. There's just too many errors in their game at the moment, unfortunately. As much as we want to see the side functioning at the best of their ability, like, this is one of those ones that Brian Lima will be very frustrated with how the side is performing at the moment. They got relegated from the Sevens circuit. They still have such a talented base, though. All they need is a bit of luck and a bit of consistency, and they will get straight back onto that Sevens circuit. Argentina looks steady, don't you think, says Katzenel? Yeah, they're looking good at the moment, Argentina. I do think that the first game that they played in, I believe it was, I'm just trying to remember, did they play Kenya in the first game? Kenya in that first half showed what you have to do up against Argentina to be able to beat them. The problem was Kenya couldn't do it for the full game. So we'll have to wait and see whether or not one of these sides who are a little bit higher ranked is able to counter Argentina in the way that Kenya did for that first 7 minutes. That's a great run from Wakesa, who now moves only about 25 metres out from the line. Onyala tries to pass this one cross to the right, but they're going back for a penalty for offside. And more tries in a 15-man match than this one here, says Doctor. Well, they do have a lot more minutes, of course, to be able to work with. Very good, Pads of Blaze. I just got home from school, says Daniel. We are 5 minutes into this contest at the moment. One try coming for the Samoans. Of course, Samoa going to be in action for the Pacific Nations Cup when it comes to the Rugby 15s. That is only in about 30 days, and we will be covering that competition on the channel, where Samoa go face-to-face with Tonga, with Fiji, and also Japan throughout those matches. Kenya with the scrum feed now, sitting 25 metres out from the line. I don't see how they wouldn't score from where they are on the field. It's a very good position, just outside of the 22. Normally you get a lot of momentum moving forward, and they're going to go to the short side here, Kenya, trying to make it a 2-on-1. Nice inside ball, well defended by Samoa. Ball bounces out the back. Kenya to scramble to get that one, and that's a great step from Kenya, needing the offload, couldn't get it. Scanlon with a great tackle, and that is a knock on from the Kenyans. In fact, Samoa will get themselves the penalty. Solid defence from the men in blue today. But Paul Scanlon, he knew that there was going to be that option of an offload for Kenya, so he had to get his hand on the ball. And then John Okoth I should say, just couldn't quite get that pass away that he needed, and Scanlon was able to put enough pressure on that ball to be able to force it out. Looks like a few players warming up on the bench. Steve Onisai, Alamanda Matunga, I'm looking forward to seeing him. He was very strong in his first match that he played yesterday, or at least the first start that he had, which was the second game up against Argentina. Now Letufia going to be throwing this ball in. Mutu Opitai jumps well. And that's going to be an accidental deliberate knockdown by the Kenyans. Oh, they're actually going to go back for it, and it is a yellow card. Unfortunately, in Sevens, anytime you knock the ball on with your arm extended, you're just in one of those positions of you can, unfortunately, be penalised and sent to the bin. Waikesa disappointed. He had a great catch of the water bottle, though. And there it is, just trying to slap it away from Va'a. In fact, it was Valvasa Afasua. What did I miss, says Daniel? So one try so far for the Samoans at the moment. It is 5-0. Kevin Waikesa just getting himself yellow carded. We are just on the half-time at the moment. A scrum for Samoa, 38 metres from their try line. What did you think of Leroy Carter's performance yesterday? He was actually pretty quiet overall. We normally do see a lot more from him, I think, but maybe it was just more that they were using a lot of Narohi Makavi Black. This is going to be a foot race here for Pilo Maliko, trying to get past Odongo, who has been able to make that tackle very nicely. Well protected by Pilo Maliko, but he is forced into touch. And that is going to be half-time in this contest. Once again, brilliant work. Use the team names more, please, bro, says Chris Wright. We will do our absolute best. Although we did have the stoppage there, which may have been when you did message, possibly. And Fiji versus France will be a thriller. But for now, let's go Uso, says Daniel there. Yeah, Fiji-France is going to be a very entertaining game. Samoa, they do have the man advantage going into the second half. I'll be honest, Apilo Maleko, once again, just seems like he hasn't had the smoothest performance. Last year, it seemed easy when that man was in a Sevens kit. This year, it seems like every time he ends up out wide, he just runs out of space and gets forced into touch by a big winger. And Samoa is bad, man. I think that is. Are we getting tennis coverage from the Olympics on the Kiwi Lads channel? Probably not. I know hardly anything about tennis other than the fact that they have a racket and they hit a ball. Other than that, though, I'm pretty much like not really a tennis connoisseur. The most tennis I've played recently was on Wii Sports. So I don't think I'll be the best at the tennis. I don't know all the players' names. Says Chris White there. And what time is it here? In South Africa, it is 2:10. So currently we are 12:10 a.m. New Zealand time, just after midnight. We're going to be going right through until 9 a.m. New Zealand time. So we've got about 9 hours that we are going to be getting everything organised and doing. Their videos, I had them on video chat after the game yesterday. Says Daniel Cox, and how many teams sail through from a pool. Says Untamed Kenya. So at the moment, we've got 6 teams confirmed in the quarterfinals. These two sides are not those teams, though, and whoever is the 2 best third-place teams make their way through to the quarterfinals also. So theoretically, only one of these two sides can make it. It would be the winner of this game, and their points differential would heavily impact whether or not they do make their way through. So currently, the way that it sits, Samoa at the moment have not got a better points differential than South Africa, who are sitting on minus 17. Samoa is currently minus 18. So they need 2 or 3 more tries at least here. But then South Africa are playing Japan, so that makes it, a little bit easier for them. Dan, you're going to be up late tonight. Says Zion. Yeah, I know that the concrete truck is arriving at 10:30 a.m. tomorrow. So, well, today now, seeing as we're past midnight, so I'm also going to be pouring concrete in the morning. And hi, how are you doing today? Says Yako, doing very well on the Kenyan flag there in the chat as well. I do appreciate everyone who is tuning in. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're covering plenty more games of the Sevens on the channel. That is kicked high from Whananeko. It's going to be a loose ball. Adongo, though, has been able to regather for the Kenyans. About 30 metres out from their line at the moment. The captain. Now Kenya have struggled to make metres. Azati, that's going to be the penalty again to Samoa in the breakdown. Kenya have been penalised quite often throughout this match. It looks like they want to take this one quickly here for Samoa. Taking the tap, Taunuu, Naulivaya, trying to bust through. That was very close to a Kenyan turnover, and they have kicked that ball forward, but it will be another penalty against the Kenyans. We've got to remember, they are only playing with 6 men on the field at the moment. How many minutes is a yellow card? 2 minutes in the game of sevens. Now, inside ball, Va'apilo Maleko, another advantage in favour of the Samoans. Scanlon takes the quick tap, and he is gifted the try when they're that close. Ruben Keane saw that the space was there. The world greatest troll has returned. Who misses me? Or who missed me? Says Matthew Lang. I didn't even notice you had been gone, Matthew, to be honest. Watching from New Zealand, says Via. And g'day, Hamish, how you doing, Big Buck? Says Razor, doing not too bad overall. Samoa doing a lot better now that they have got themselves their second try of the half. Only 2 minutes? Yep, in a game of 14 minutes, you only have 2 minutes off the field when you do get a yellow card. How many teams are advancing to quarterfinals from each pool, says Paula. So it is the top 2 of every group, which have already been confirmed. They have got that kick over Samoa, but to very quickly list them, New Zealand, Ireland, Argentina, Australia, Fiji, France have all qualified. Theoretically, I don't think, France are a bit of an iffy one. They might actually miss out, depending on the other results that we see and depending on if Fiji can get a big win over them, which is only happening in about an hour and 15 minutes time. Samoa, come on, says Andre Jacobs there. Scoreboard is still on half-time, I do see. Sadly, it's an automatic scoreboard. I have no control over it, but currently it is 12-0. And Samoa back in position again. If they can score 2 or 3 more tries, they could go through to the next stage. Inside ball, Apilo Maliko. He is too close to the touchline, though, and he will be held up by the Kenyans. Looking for the offload, does knock it on, and it will now be a Kenyan scrum feed. Decision-making from Apilo Maliko at the moment has just not been good. He ran out of space. He should have thrown it back on the inside, but instead thought that he was going to be able to get through 3 big Kenyans who are all waiting for him. And we have there watching from Rotown, says the Wallaby. And also sorry for my Samoan teams. And score, says Peter, at the moment, even though the scoreboard does not like me, it is 12-0 for Samoa. We have got there, what game are you the most excited for, says Daniel. I honestly think that Fiji-France, in terms of these warm-up games, or not so much warm-up games, but the pool games, Like, that's going to be a good one. The host nation, France, versus the defending gold medalist, Fiji. It doesn't get much bigger than that in this competition, so forward to it for the regular pool game. Nice run here from Kenya. Now Tony making his way forward. 35 metres out from the line for Amonde. Bit of a rough pass from Vincent Onyala. Kenya trying to find a gap, but Samoa's defence in this game has been good, which is exactly what they need. Now counter-ruck coming from the Samoans there as well. Letufia manages to get it back for the Manu Samoans. And they've got themselves another penalty now. I miss watching Broke Down on telly. That was a funny TV show. Tony blocked me from his channel. I'm sorry for my behaviour the other time. No more of that. Says Matthew Lang. What did you put on his channel to get blocked? Did you just comment something and then he removed it? Oh, we have got the Samoa, come on. Oh, lovely 360-degree camera that they've got of Scanlon putting that ball down. But now scrum feed for Samoa. They will be 25 metres out from the line. As it currently sits, they are the highest qualifier in terms of that third place team. Now, that can easily change, though. See how long till he gets mad, says Bads Ablaze. Wait, what happened, Bads? Did you time him out, Petty? We don't need to be too rough on him. I hope to be in the quarterfinals, says Via. And as well, but 4 minutes in, or 4 minutes remaining, I should say, for this half. Now, Niueli Letufia going off to the right-hand side. There will be the knock-on from Samoa. The pass just a little bit too far out in front of Tom Maeva. He's only just made his way onto the field. And also, let's go Samoa, says Brevin there. And Samoa, come on, says Andre there. But yeah, Tom Maeva, unfortunately, that is one that he had to claim. And let's go Samoa, says Daniel. And is this the chance the Kenyans need to get their first try of today? They've done relatively well in their last two games in terms of being able to score themselves tries each contest. That is well handled out wide from Ojwang. Wrestle towards the touchline. Samoa not going for the counter-ruck this time. They have to be strategic with when they use it. If they do it every breakdown, Kenya will start to catch on a little bit. Down the wing, running out of space and wrestled into touch. Samoa want this ball as quickly as they can. It will now be the line out. And come on, Samoa, says Via. Oh, no. Okay, Kenya have got another yellow card. That is unfortunate. He was getting pushed towards the ball by one of the Samoans. On times New Zealand playing, please, Hamish. Says Scott Dawson. I believe New Zealand's game is at 2:30 a.m. New Zealand time. So in about 2 hours, 10 minutes or so. Whaamalosi Samoa, says Talanoa there. And Samoa defence is a wall, says HD23. And one more try, please, says Via. At least. I think that for Samoa to have a great chance of making it to the quarters, of course, a lot of other results have to go their way, but they do need to score, I believe, 2 more times in these last 2.5 minutes. What time is South Africa playing? They are going to be playing, I believe it is the game prior to that, up against the Japanese, so that will be the 2 a.m. start for us here in New Zealand. So an hour and 40 minutes until South Africa do have their game. Samoa in possession. Niueli Letufia. That's a forward pass from Steve Onisai. It's just poor anytime they get open space here, Samoa. It seems like they want to be too fancy rather than just the stock standard pass through their hands. That was a round the back pass and it was always going to be forward. I'd like to see Hika Elliott come back and play in our Sevens team. Says Razor Robinson. And try your best. 2 more tries, please, says Via. Looks like Kenya going to be making a couple changes here. Herman Hamwa. He has had hardly any minutes throughout this Olympic Sevens. He is a phenomenal talent. They've just said Kenya no means out of this game. I'll let the Kenyans take the next plane and come home. Says Untamed Kenya. But of course, we are going to get to see the Kenyans on the Sevens circuit all throughout 2024-25 season. Whereas we will not see Samoa for those same games. Little inside ball from Kenya on the halfway line. Nice offloading. It's going to be a tackle made on Nelson Oyo. Now they have to try and run this one forward. Out wide. Good stepping from Ojwang. Wide channel once again. Wrestled into touch. That's happened a lot throughout this game. Both sides, anytime they've tried to run it wide, their wingers have just been pushed straight into touch. Lalo Milo, the man who grabs the collar and just rips him off the field there. They had to make that tackle. And man, Hika is like nearly 40, isn't he? says Doctor. A line-out throw here for Samoa again. 1 minute remaining in this contest. Going to be thrown and wasn't the straightest. I don't think Kenya had a chance of being able to get that one back, but now Lalomilo passes out in front. Good hands from Steve Onisai. Now moves forward, has to look for that next pass. That is the big thing here for Samoa, just finding what's going to work. Tom Maeva puts the kick in behind. He's managed to get it, needs an offload, and he has managed to find the hands of Alamana Matanga. Another offload coming for Samoa. This has to be a try, and that is nicely done. Va'a Apilo Maliko needs to put it down, but he wants the extra 2 points. He's going to run it right between the sticks there for the Samoans. It's been a frustrating game for him, but he's finally got one down over the try line. And they still have time for one more play here, Samoa. So this has been great for their points differential, which currently sits at -6, I believe. It will be -4 if this kick does go over. Next game, says Daniel. The next game that is taking place is going to be between Argentina and Australia, and that is happening just around the corner. And Dan's commentator for broadcasting this game says Via. Yeah, we are going to be covering, of course, the next game for these sides. Even though Kenya have been knocked out of the quarterfinals per se at this stage, they have still got another game just around the corner, and we will be covering that one on the channel. Also, Samoa, at this stage, they are through to the quarters, but that can change depending on what happens in the other groupings. But Australia, Argentina, that is the next game in this pool. That will determine who gets themselves first place in this group. Kenya in position here, 22 metres out from their own line. And they are the type of side that will try and cut down the Samoan points differential. They want one try in this game. Oyo runs straight at Steve Onisai. But Samoa, if they get one more try, that could book them their spot in the quarters, but they have to defend here. Okoth finds the offload. Great run in here from Kenya. It's about a 3-on-1. If Samoa ever had a little bit of gas left in the tank, it has to be now. Good tackle made, and over the ball there for the Samoans. They have given away the penalty though. Nelson Oyo takes the quick tap, stolen by Samoa. Then now Tom Maeva has to pin his ears back. He hasn't got the pace that he needs. Massive wide crossfield pass. Lalomilo goes to Steve Onisai, who will now have to run it himself. 22 metres out, off to Lalomilo. Lalomilo gets back up. Neueli Letufia puts the fender, another offload Samoa. Steve Onisai needs to run it round to the post, but he has not. But they've scored the try here, Samoa, which will now put them 24-0 up with a kick to come. This is a great performance from the Samoans right here in terms of being able to put them in at least a position of a chance of going through to the quarterfinals of this competition. But these extra 2 points could be absolutely crucial here for the Samoans. Neueli Letufia again got it away to Steve Onisai, who I believe should have run it round a little bit closer to the post, depending on whether this kick goes over or not. Neueli Letufia hasn't had the best day off the kicking tee, but he has got this one from 20 metres out. Right, so the way that it stands, ladies and gentlemen, in this pool, Samoa, they have got themselves now a points differential of +3. That will now mean that South Africa, for them to be able to go through to the quarterfinals or have any shot of doing so, they need to win their game by 21 points up against the Japanese, and that is a little bit later on today. Also reliant on what happens in the other contests. If the USA is beaten by Uruguay, that causes a massive upset, and that would actually mean that it is guaranteed that the Samoans go through. So that is another game that you will want to keep a close eye on if you are a Samoan supporter. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy this live stream, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We will be keeping you updated with who is going through to the quarterfinals. Sad should have been how they started this comp, says a doctor there from Kenya, and I hope my brothers, they will do well, says Sejo. And I do think next year on the circuit for the Kenyans, it's going to be pretty awesome to see how they do match up with all of the top sides. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We will be back for both of these sides next game, and that is going to be taking place in around 5.5 hours' time. But thank you all very much for tuning in. Will you do Argentina, Australia? We certainly will. We are popping over to that live stream now, so be sure to follow us over there. I will see you all for the next one.